If you've ever spent way too much time trying to cut clips perfectly to music, Final Cut Pro 12 just fixed that. It now has automatic beat detection, and it makes editing to music way easier. Apple released Final Cut Pro version 12 a couple of weeks ago, and it came with a number of fairly major updates. One of my favorites, and I've been waiting for this for a long time, is automatic beat detection. There's quite a bit you can do with this, so let's jump into Final Cut Pro and take a look. To get automatic beat detection, you have to be on Final Cut Pro version 12 or later. This feature comes with both the standalone version of Final Cut Pro and the version included in Creator Studio. Another small update in version 12 that I think is going to get a ton of use is this new plus button, which lets you make a new project, event, or even a new library. So let's make a new project in our timeline and try this feature out. First, I'll grab my music clip and drop it into my timeline. At first, this looks just like previous versions, because you still have to manually enable beat detection. There's a few ways to do this. You can enable beat detection from the Enhancements drop-down menu. You can turn it on in the Audio Inspector. Or, my favorite, you can enable beat detection with the keyboard shortcut Option B. And, once it's enabled, you can toggle the beat markers off and on using the Beat Detection Grid button. Now, depending on the zoom level of your timeline, you'll see different markers. If I'm zoomed all the way out, I'll only see thick green lines, also identified by hollow dots on the music clip. These mark major song parts or spots where the music changes significantly. In my example, I've got the intro, the main part of the song, another part where it changes, a bridge, the main part again, and an outro. If I zoom in a bit, I'll get thinner green lines marked with bright green dots. These are measures in a song. And if I zoom in even more, I'll get dashed green lines that mark the actual beats. The song in my example has a 4/4 time signature, meaning 4 beats per measure. And honestly, on every song I've tried so far, this has been extremely accurate, even on songs with unique time signatures. So, what can I do with this? Well, first of all, this song is under 2 minutes long. If I'm using it as a background track, I'll probably want it to be much longer. To make it longer, I've got a few options. I want to leave the start and the end of the song as is, but I can repeat the middle parts to stretch it out. This is where the song part lines come in really handy. I'll move my playhead to the start of the chorus, hover my skimmer over the thick green line, and hit Command B to blade the clip. Then I'll move to the end of that section and blade it again. Now, while holding down the Option key, I'll grab that middle part and drag it to the right. This makes a copy of that song selection and inserts it at my cut. I'll play it back so you can hear how smooth that edit sounds. I can also repeat multiple parts of the song to make it even longer. For example, I'll move my skimmer over a thick green line after the bridge, blade it, and Option drag it to the right to duplicate it. Listen to the cut. Sounds perfect, doesn't it? And if I want to be more precise with the timing, I can zoom in and duplicate or cut out individual measures. I'll place my playhead on the thin green line, blade the clip, then move to the next one, or skip one or two, and blade it again. From there, I can duplicate that section, or if I need to shorten the song, I can delete it. Just like before, I'll play the new cut, and it's like it was never even there. Now, for this demo, I'm going to edit a short promo clip for a local adult soccer team. I actually play on this team, so this one's personal for me. I need this video to be about 30 to 45 seconds long, but I still want to keep the intro and end the song properly, not just do an abrupt cut or a fade out. What I'll do is keep the intro, cut out the chorus after the intro, remove the bridge and the part after it, and leave the outro. That gets me about 44 seconds, which is perfect. I'll quickly play over each cut to make sure it sounds okay. In my example, the cuts sound perfect, but depending on the song you're using and where you make the cuts, it might be a bit jarring. If that happens, just select the clips on each side of the cut and press Option T to add an audio crossfade. Next, I'll start adding my video clips, and I'm going to line up my cuts with the beats and the music. Depending on the clips and the song, I can keep things consistent and cut on every measure. Or if I want a faster paced video, I can place my cuts on every upbeat or downbeat. I also like mixing it up sometimes just to make it less predictable. Now, for the majority of this timeline, I'm going to keep the volume of my video clips turned all the way down, or at least really low. I want the music to drive this edit, not the clip audio, most of the time. But in my example, right after the intro, there's a break in the song, and then it fades back in. That's a perfect place to use a soundbite from one of the clips, and I know just the clip I want for this. I'll add the clip, trim it to the beat markers, and I want to fade this in and out with both a J cut and an L cut on the same clip. I'll select the clip, right-click, and choose Expand Audio. This separates the audio and the video, but keeps everything connected so everything stays in sync. Now, I can ripple trim out the audio at the start and the end, and use the fade handles to fade the audio in and out. Then, I'll select the clip again and collapse audio to bring everything back together.
Yeah.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
From here, I'll keep going and add more clips to fill out my timeline. Another trick I like to use when editing to the beat is offset my cuts by 1 frame. If I cut right on the beat, there's a lot happening at the same time. The music changes and the visuals change. It can feel a bit predictable. But if I cut 1 frame before or 1 frame after the beat, it offsets things just enough to give the viewer a split second to process what's happening, and I find it feels a lot more natural. When I ripple trim a clip and the cuts line up perfectly on the beat, I get this green beat marker. I like going 1 frame past it, or sometimes even 2, just to offset the cut slightly. It's a small detail, but I think it makes a big difference. From here, I'll add a few more clips to finish the timeline, add a color grade, a few transitions, and maybe even a couple effects. This is a fast-paced video, and it's one of the few times where you can actually over-edit a little bit and it still looks good. Here's my finished result.
Yeah.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
This is just one of many cool new features added in the Final Cut Pro 12 update. And honestly, this is the first time in a while where I'm feeling optimistic about the future of Final Cut Pro. And I hope I'm not wrong. Either way, I'm going to cover the other new features added in this update over the next few weeks. So hit that subscribe button so you don't miss it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.